What's up, guys? Welcome back to the fourth episode of the NAU podcast. It's me, Jaden, and
your boy Caleb, Money. Today, we got another exciting episode.
Really exciting.
Today, episode 4 is a good one. We've spoken to, obviously, Matt and Mark in the second episode, and we spoke briefly about people that Jaden and I look up to when it comes to, we feel like there's three main pillars in the barbering industry here in sort of Queensland and in Brizzy areas in particular, and that's Mark, Lance, and this man that we're about to introduce. But, without further ado, we'd love, and we're so excited to introduce, this guy. He's a really close... Jaden and I, in particular, hold this guy really close to our hearts. He's impacted us in a lot of ways, inspirationally, and he's a national educator for barbers. He's a national educator for Barbershop, Australia and New Zealand, and he also is a crew all-star, I believe. So without further ado, we'd like to introduce Mr. Lino D'Adderio. Let's go.
Guys,
hopefully that intro was okay.
That was beautiful, guys. Thank you.
You deserve it, man.
You deserve it, man. You honestly are, for us in our eyes, like we like I said to you before we started rolling, that you're the godfather, bro. Like you would have seen us talking to Jono before about legacy, and the legacy within your family, and obviously the Luigi and Sons. Like I feel like that's a really cool place that we can start. But I think before that, for those of you who may not know Lino, would you like to just sort of introduce yourself, who you are, maybe some of the accolades that you've been able to achieve in your career?
10%, for the 10 people out there.
For the 10% of you in the hair industry that may not know who this lovely man is.
Thank you, guys. No, it's very kind, very, very kind. It's been amazing. Just hanging with you guys as long as we have for all these years, really. And you guys are young lads, but we've known each other a long time. I really respect and thank you so much for the intro. It was lovely. So I've been barbering since I was 18 years old. 55 now, so so it's like that's a number. It's a number.
It's crazy saying it out loud.
It is. It's crazy, but I still feel. I actually still feel young in the industry. You know what I mean? I really, really do. I love it, and I feel like just being. I think we've always just continued to try and grow. So, and therefore therefore when you're growing, you still feel young. You know what I mean? It's so that's kind of cool. So, background wise, I did 3 months hairdressing, basically back in the early days.
The very first intro to it?
And the intro to that was through my father, who's actually a well-renowned barber, old school Italian, like Luigi D'Adderio, name of the shop. And Dad said, mate, why don't you go and do hairdressing? Like, I believe there's more money in it, and barbering was hard work and da-da-da. So I did 3 months, and look, I loved it. It was great, creative, but my heart was in barbering. Like, that was my thing, So I said, Dad, I don't want to. And he was like, but there's more money, and so I don't care about the money. It's for me, it's, and even to this day, like I've been, 37 years of cutting hair now. And to me, it's not about the coin. Obviously, we've got to survive. We've got to feed our families. Of course we do. But I think if you look after everything else, all that other stuff takes care of itself. So it's not that. So from that angle, I've sort of I've been a barber a really long time. I love the trade. I've loved trying to be the best I can be. Always wanting to get better, so I'm always watching, learning, and just trying to grow myself. I've been on the American Crew All-Star team for, I think we're 16 years now, which is a long time. So that's an international team. So I feel really blessed to be on that team.
And I think, sorry to quickly just butt in there, one thing that amazed me was that Matt and Mark were showing me when they did their Adelaide little thing a couple weeks ago, that you're actually the one in the book that shows people how to do the cut for this year's book or whatever you got, the college edition or whatever it is. I thought that was pretty cool, because did you film that when you went over to overseas or something? That's crazy. Yeah,
that's really cool. So I got to go to Barcelona last year, Phoenix and David. So Phoenix is our global head of education. Wow. She's a friend of ours from Australia, so she started here, even though she's an English lady, but she started here. She's a gem of a lady and a good friend. Her and David Agulia reached out to me to go over and do the shoot with my French teammates, which was cool.
Nice.
So the boys from over there. So they had a little short drive, and I had a 24-hour flight. It was 10 days before Christmas. Oh, it was about 2 weeks before Christmas. I think we did the whole thing over the week before. And I was like, I literally had to move a whole week's worth of booked out clients to my days off on either side. So I think I did like 3 weeks straight in December. So
it gets like that, eh?
But would you ever say no? Of course not. I was like that last year to come and do that shoot, and it was incredible. So and I think and being part of the Barbershop Australian New Zealand team, I hugely respect. It's an amazing company. It's been I've used their tools for years, and it's not like I wanted to work for them there and then I go buy the tools. It was kind of the other way around. I love the tools, and so and it was just a natural progression as well. I was very proud to be with our good friends at Mocha Group. I was very proud to be the inaugural AMBA Hall of Fame winner.
Wow.
So that was
round of applause for that, man.
That was super cool. It was super cool. I sort of feel, there's a little saying I said with that one, I feel old enough to deserve it and young enough to enjoy it. It's kind of, and it's kind of, and that's been really nice. I felt really blessed, because there's a lot of, I'm one of many in the room that have been doing it a long time, but so just to have been lucky enough to be that first person was really, really special. So that was lovely, and I just keep like Mark, obviously one of last year is one of my best mates, and
we're just talking about that.
And I can't wait to see who it's going to be in a few weeks' time. Like that's going to be amazing too.
And that's such an incredible, I feel like, accolade. And we were just talking before about legacy. That's a fucking incredible thing to have next to your name, bro. And I couldn't imagine a nicer person or a more deserving person than you, bro. Because honestly, Jaden and myself, we've obviously throughout our journey have heard of you and Mark, and if I'm being honest, it took me a little while to differentiate between who was Mark and who was Lino. In my early years when I first started hearing your guys' names being thrown around. But I think that obviously for you and for a lot of people at home and for people who are watching the podcast, I just want to know. And one question that's been burning me is, how long did it take for you to finally achieve that education role, to step into that education scene, to get into that light? Because you're saying you've been in the industry for so long, and I know that a lot of people want it to happen now. But for you, how long did it take you to get to where you are now? Yeah,
it's honestly, it's a journey, and I was listening to you guys chatting as I have done over these past years. It is honestly a journey, and I felt like everything was just kind of a step to the next. And I would never look forward that far to think, I need to do this down the track. It just kind of all took care of itself in a sense. Nice. So I loved, I tried my best to be the best I could be. Luckily I had a great, my dad being such a great barber, like I was lucky from an education perspective, I got to learn some really cool skills. In saying that, I felt like old school barbering, which is kind of what we're all here, with Four Barbers. And obviously, once again, very thankful to Fraser for including me on the Four Barbers team as well. So, I'm very appreciative to be part of this with all of you guys.
And I think the craziest thing too is, obviously Fraser's been preaching it as well a lot the past couple of days, is that obviously Four Barbers isn't him. He doesn't identify Four Barbers as him. Four Barbers isn't him. It's the people that are there for the journey. It's the people that we've brought together and the people that sit in the room and
want to uplift.
Oh man! And today, just being in the room, like, it's a dream. Like I've been saying it so much. Like life's been such a dream lately, and to be able to be in a room with two Hall of Famers, the inaugural Hall of Famer, and his best mate, and then it just in a room with such talent is insane. And we talk about. I think I spoke to you about it maybe, or it might have been someone else. Where to have all this talent in the room, and for everybody who's come from so many different backgrounds, you might know this yourself, especially being in the industry for so long, that a couple of years ago, if we were to go back 10, 15 years ago, you probably wouldn't see a lot of the barbers who we have in the shop actually together in a room together, sitting with each other. And that community sense, it wasn't really.
It's a massive community now. It was a little bit back in the day. It was a little bit competitive, and not in a nice way. It was, which I never liked. I never really understood, because it's like we all complement each other. Like even to this day, I sort of feel. Like different barbershops, you might have one down the road, but then the clients will get attracted to me and my team. Clients will get attracted to them and their team. And there's enough people there for everyone. Like I can't cut everyone's hair. I don't want to cut everyone's hair. I just want to cut the people's hair that want to come to us. And then they get all my love.
100%. And I think Expo is a really good example of what you're saying too, because on stage, especially with the Babyless team, and you look at a lot of these teams, but Babyless in particular, you have, I think I seen you, Lance, Jono, and it would have been, I can't remember who else was on stage with you at Expo, but 4 different styles, 4 different backgrounds,
totally.
and you're all on one team representing one brand, and it was it's so good to see, because I know I personally started in the industry when I noticed a little bit of that toxicity, and I noticed that there was that little bit of, we don't talk to that barbershop down the street for XYZ, but I feel like for you, with the culture and the cultural shift and how the industry is changing, where's your sort of standpoint on that? How do you feel at where the industry is now and where it's sort of leading to for the future?
I love it. I think it's I've always loved our industry. I think it's just such a wonderful place to be from back when, watching it grow all the way through. Like, it's really, really cool. And I think it's got a massive future still, to this day. I feel like there's a lot of really, really talented young people out there. There's some really, really talented people that have been doing it a long time as well. So, but I sort of feel like it's just that being real to yourself. And, I feel like that's kind of a big part of the journey, is like just being really honest with yourself. And, like, I know there's plenty of things that even as an educator, there's plenty of things I can't do, I couldn't do, and you've got to go away and learn. And you think, right, I want to be good at that.
And that's the difference, man. Between educating and just being a barber. You know what I mean? Having that knowledge to I'm going to go better myself. I'm going to go learn those things.
And then be kind enough to share it.
Which don't gatekeep that knowledge. Exactly. And we were talking to Mark about that, Haji, the other night, where I feel like not gatekeeping. And Mark was even saying that he loves the industry so much, and he also knows that. And I use the quote: "Past must exist for present to create future." The past has to exist. Everything that has happened, and it needs to exist so that we now in the present can continue to lay that path down for people like yourself who have laid that path down, and it's the passing on the baton. You're passing the baton on to people like literally myself and Jaden, to be able to take that legacy, take that path that you've paved, and to continue it on. 100%. And not only continue it on, but create our own path at the same time with it. And 100%. I think that that's so important, because obviously if all that knowledge and that teachings that we've learned as barbers and educators now, if we don't continue to pass that on, then our industry's in later terms it's pretty fucked. Like, it can end up being back in that toxic place again. But sorry, Jay, you want to say something?
No, I just want to say, bro, like a bit of a not really a change of topic, but off that, bro, like making sure that you're not gatekeeping, being nice. Like I feel like something that's drawn me to you, man, is that like as soon as you rock up or whatever, you're so happy and lovely to everyone, man. And for
There's
me,
an aura about it, man.
And even today when we're doing the role plays, like I made sure that what I touched on, and I try to convey that, but what I touched on was that building those connections and making sure that you can have a boss that's like do this, do that, but really understanding and making sure that they're comfortable and you're comfortable, and having just being just building those relationships and just being nice,
I agree.
Just having that like what's your perspective on that, man?
I totally agree with you. I'm sort of I think with your people and whether it be in your own shop or educate or whatever,
even clients,
it's really just being honest and having that honest conversation and just sort of and even if you need something better out of them or more out of them, you can still ask really nicely and get that and just and often. A lot of things happen in my shop where, someone might take a sad day off and next minute I see on their socials and it's like, you said you were sick. And I'm like, just be honest with me. It's like, dude, I was young too. I had to have a good time too, It's like, I'd rather you just say, Lino, I really need a sad day off. It's like, cool. So I take them when I need them. It's okay. So to me, it's all about that honesty and just communication and, on all levels, and it's with our clients as well. It's literally having, talking about the hair or talking about what shape they want, or if you really think something's not going to suit them, you can be really nice about saying, look, what about if we did this shape because of the bone structure here or whatever?
Just being honest,
have the combos. Exactly.
100%. And obviously leading off of that, I think the first time that Jaden and myself may or may not have come into contact with you, at least together we did, was War Barber Expo in a couple years back now.
2022?
And we had the pleasure of meeting, obviously, not only yourself properly, but meeting your apprentice that he ended up taking out the apprentice category.
Down in
Newcastle.
Newcastle. Young Mason. So Mason's he was our school-based apprentice. So that was so cool. And now he's one of my seniors. He literally works in the chair right next to me.
No way.
So he's senior barber, and he's one of my guys. Like, you know,
because Thomas was competing in that category.
Yeah, he was. And I remember like seeing you, and I've always seen you as Lino D'Adderio, the educator. I've always seen you up on stage and doing your thing, but it was the first time that I got to see how you interacted with like your apprentices and stuff like that. And straight up, man, what gave me so much respect for you was exactly who you are, and how you are is how you are. And it's like that with, I feel like, a lot of our educators, is that where people tend to perceive us up here and look up to us like this, but at the end of the day, man, we're just the same as everybody else. And
we are,
you know, and I always say this: take the accolades, take, you know, the educational role of me. I'm Caleb, like straight up, like I'm the same. I'm the same as everybody else, and I always tell people that they don't need to necessarily be an educator to educate. Education starts in so many different levels. It starts from the chair when you educate a client about a hair product, or
and that just goes back to journey, man. You know,
100%.
like you can't just expect to do it overnight, man. You know, it's you got to wait your turn, and you gotta make sure that you're
And talking about journey though, I want to talk a little bit about the Elvis movie. What that was like to work on, because
thank you.
I got straight chills, man, the other night when we were talking to Matt and Mark, and Mark was talking about, and I touched on this today when I was talking to you before the podcast, but Mark has a photo or something had a photo in one of his shops of the image of where Elvis was getting his head shaved, and it was the legitimate real life image,
like the real life,
exactly. And then he said that he was buzzing out that one of his best mate got to do that exact thing in the movie.
And I was asking them because, like, I think for me, like I was saying, that there's a lot of different pathways you can take, and I think for me, I've always had an interest in wanting to do, like, you know, movies, or like, you know, Matt did he was doing ASOS and all these things, and I had to ask him. I was like, bro, like, you know, what's that like? Is you know, have you got any advice getting into that? But bro, and then as soon as he said that, you know, we
couldn't believe it, bro. We were like,
oh, wow. And I remember that scene. I remember watching it because I found out all of this after the movie came out. You know, I was looking at them and I was like, wow, like it'd be so cool. And I think that's what kind of spawned it, bro. Even watching the Elvis movie.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Obviously,
and all the hair, like, it's like just
what was it like for you to do something like that?
Honestly, it was one of the most phenomenal experiences of my personal life, but also just giving that opportunity to my friends and my team, and you know, the people around me, that I was able to put a little team together for the barbering.
Wow.
So you know, so
crazy.
I got approached by a lovely lady, Leslie, who was in charge of the hair and makeup team for the whole movie. So she sort of worked under Baz, and then she obviously, and mate, we were like we were a team of 70, like it was massive, and there were 8 barbers. So, you know, like, it's not like, we were the like, it was cool that we were the barbers, but we were literally, from a humble side, we were just one of a massive team. So but it was so super cool, and just to have the opportunity to do, you know, all the African American hair. We did the musos with the long hair, all the, you know, the jelly rolls, the pompadours.
Oh, that would have been so cool.
Yeah, it would have been so cool.
All that styling was just wicked. And then there was a section in there where they said, Leslie approached me and said, "Oh, Lino, they need they're looking for a barber to be the barber that's going to cut Elvis's hair. You know the scene." And I was like, yeah, it's like the most famous scene in the world. Like, Elvis has got to join the army. He's got to cut his hair off.
Yeah.
You know, this is like huge.
Yeah.
And I just said, yep. And she goes, "You happy to shave your beard off?" Yeah. It was like literally like, what? Of course I am. It's like, whatever. But then I saw the image of the guy, like the original guy. And thinking, I look nothing like him. It's like, you know, I'm short, I'm bald, I've got a beard. It's like, I'm dark skinned. You know, I've got a tan because I'm Italian background. And he was a tall, lean white man with a flat top. You know, I was like, wow. Yeah. But mate, they literally, it's the movies, Lino. Yeah. It's like, this is what they do. I shaved my beard off. They kind of, you know, lots of makeup, whitened my skin out, put this cool little grey haired wig on me. I literally look like I'm about 75, 80 years old. Wow. It's hilarious. You know?
Mark was saying that. He was saying that there were be no ways that you would be able to recognize him. And he said he could not recognize you.
No.
The only way he recognized you was from your hands.
Exactly.
And we were just like, and that's how you know you're good mates, when you can recognize your mate just from
your hands.
Do you know what's funny too? A lot of my clients, and it was really funny because I don't notice because obviously we're working.
Yeah.
So heaps of my clients go, I knew it was you because of your forearms, because literally your arms are up, and that's what they see in the mirror when I'm coming.
Yeah, wow.
And
I
it's
didn't
like,
even think about that.
I didn't even know it was. I've got good forearms. It's like, all right, cool.
Yeah. That's
So
awesome.
no, I didn't even know. That was hilarious. So yeah, no, it was a most phenomenal experience, and once again, just to have that opportunity. And but I think it's one of those things that we went back to before. It's like, how do I get? It's just say yes to stuff, and and then if you don't like it, just be honest and say, look, I love you guys, but it's not my thing.
Yeah,
but why would you say, oh no, I don't know if I'm good enough?
Yeah.
Of course you're good enough. They asked you to do it.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And a big theme that, like, we've had a couple, big themes throughout this, recording of the podcast. But a big theme was leap of faith.
Yeah,
Having a leap
I
of
like
faith.
that.
And you saying that, just saying yes to stuff. People coming up on the podcast, we're saying, you got to take that leap of faith. And just saying yes. And
it's funny. It's funny that Jaden just said that, because everyone would have just seen from a couple episodes back with Jono that the craziness of this week for us has been, and I'll just be straight up real quick, is that, and I know the podcast is not about us, and it's never going to be about us, but straight up, like, this week has been so stressful for us. Like, we've been riding the lows and the highs and everything. And obviously you would have seen before, we were trying to figure out which episode is Lino again, because we had a structure, we knew exactly what we wanted, and it went completely out the fucking window the first day we filmed. So
but look at you guys are here doing it, and we're all doing it. It's like, it's sick. I can't wait to sit back and listen to it.
And it's exactly what Jaden has said, that everyone we've sort of spoken about, it's all been a leap of faith. And even saying that, Josh spoke about it and touched about it in his class prior to us, and he talks about how he utilizes fear. And he spoke really strongly about how he utilizes that fear to turn it into like a driving force of growth. And you saying that, it's so perfect.
Man.
Like, you didn't have to take on that role and take on that job and chase that opportunity. But like you said, when an opportunity calls like that, it's a leap of faith straight up. And it's like, you're either going to do it or... and
it was hard. Like, there was some stuff in there. Like we were learning as we were going. Like, some of that, it was... And you had to last 5 and 6 hours on set. And, you're there at 3 a.m. Like, I had a business to run. So I said to all my guys, I said, look, I've got this phenomenal opportunity for you guys. But, like... And once again, Luigi and Sons, been going 2 generations, 60-something years. And it's like, we've got to go to work, and we've got our clients to look after. You can have a half day off. We'll do our movie gig. We've got to go to work and look after our clients, because in 3 months or 6 months or whatever, I think it was like 8 or 9 months worth of work, which was huge. But after that, it's about our clients, and it's always been about that for me. So,
100%.
And I just want to know, do you have a photo of that of you doing that in film? Like, have you? Do you have a little poster thing?
I have got a couple of them, but I was so scared of NDAs that I never put it up at the shop. But I mean, the movie is literally out now, and I'm allowed to. So and I've got some cool stuff. So I am going to put some things up in the shop.
Well,
so,
if you make any copies, let us know, because I want to have a copy.
Well, if anyone calls in sick,
because I want to have the inaugural Hall of Famer. I want to have that photo. I want to have that photo of you doing that, man, because that's such a historical thing to happen. And then, like I said, just leading into just your journey, who you are, everything that you've been through, I think it's so, once again, fitting for someone like you to be able to, for that opportunity to happen to someone like you. Because I don't know, man, you're such, honestly, like, I know we've said this so many times already, but man, your influence and your legacy on so many people, not just, the older demographic of people in the hair industry, but even now the younger demographic with Jaden and myself, man, has been absolutely insane. And I can only hope to one day reach that level.
Oh, boys, you already are now. It's cool. And we just, once again, you already are, and we're all just trying to get better. And, literally today we were just talking about, I was talking to one of the guys about just in the presenting, and it was like, I want to help you, because I was that guy freaking out back when I was learning how to do it. Because you're literally, I actually remember, and it was a question you asked for, like, how did my journey lead into education? I remember my first time up on stage, and it was for American Crew. It was in Sydney at the old Hair Expo, back in the day, and we had artists here. I had Al from America, from Colorado. We had like literally a team of legends up on stage,
Yeah.
and here's the new guy, the
new
young guy, and I was up there next to them, and they're literally just going along the line of who had to speak next.
Yeah, wow.
And you know what it's like? It's like my team's coming next.
And
It's
you,
like,
and you know what? That's so crazy you're saying that, because that's how I feel every time we do like a 4 barbers event or even like at Expo. I'm like, they line all the barbers up, the educators up, and they're like, yeah, and Caleb at the end there. And then I'm just like, and I'm just like, but I'm so glad, to hear from you, for you to say that. It's like so, I'm like, man, like,
reassuring.
Reassuring in a way where it's like, you got to always start small, you start small, and then that growth ends up, coming later. And oh man, it's so refreshing to hear that coming
honestly,
from someone
it's so
like
true.
yourself.
It's so true, and it's that leap of faith, and it's that having a bit of belief in yourself, and and one thing that I said is like breathe, just take a big deep breath in, because those words are going to come out, and it's going to come out. Like, it's literally just breathe it in. And it's like, because you know your stuff, and you know as long as you back yourself, like, you're a good human being, you're a nice person, you'd be nice to be, you're trying your best. People want the best for you. If you're up there and you're arrogant, and it's good to be confident. 100%, it's good to be confident. But if you're arrogant, people are going to see that, and they might not gel with you. Whereas, like, I know, all the educators I see aren't like that, because it's you don't last very long if you do. You kind of move yourself on,
and especially with cancel culture too, being such a big thing now that social media is around.
What culture, man? Sorry.
Cancel culture. Cancel.
Yes. I gotcha. Sorry, bro.
So with cancel culture being such a massive, or playing such a massive role in all different sort of communities at the moment, if you have a shit attitude, then and people don't get along with you, then it's like all it takes is one person to record you and be like,
and then you get called out.
Yeah, and then you get called out for it, and it's like, it's I just feel like it's so important to once again, similar to what we spoke to Jono about, bro, is just hold yourself with gratitude, man. Be grateful. Wake up in the morning and be grateful for things. Be grateful that you're be able to get up and take a breath of air, be able to wake up and,
Wake up.
wake up, straight up.
Well, they're the things you're in control of too, isn't it? Like, like you can control to be a good person.
To take a deep breath before you go up on stage.
Exactly. You can control all those things, and to learn more and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, because
don't stress about things you can't. Like John said that. It's like, don't stress about everything. It's like, just chill. And
100%. And obviously, moving forward for yourself and things within the industry, you got, how many shops do you have at the moment?
I've actually just got one now.
You got just the one shop?
I had three. I had three for 6 years.
6 years,
Yeah, so we had one for a long time, then 3 for 6, which was amazing. And had a really big team, and once again, lots of apprentices have come through and done really, really well.
All on the Gold Coast,
All on the Gold Coast, So I sold 2 off to two teammates, which was great. One was a manager, and another husband and wife bought the other one. And like, my manager was there, he worked for me for 20 years, and then he bought that shop.
Wow.
So that's really cool. So all that sort of stuff, and I'm really proud of them, really happy for them. But I do love my one good shop, and I sort of feel, for me, on a personal level, like, and obviously there's lots of different things. But I'm just at my point. Like, I really love my educating, so I love having the opportunity to give back and being able to throw myself into that. But I also love my shop, and just to be able to have one good shop with one good team, for me at my stage now is kind of perfect. So I sort of,
and really just honing down, on that, I guess, like we've been touching on, the culture, the legacy and stuff that you want to have an impact on with people coming through your store. I feel like at that smaller level, it really allows you to, one, hone in on that, but two, kind of leading into my next question I was going to ask is, like, how long do you see yourself continuing? Like, do you see yourself just being like, someone like your dad being like that, the old barbershop guy in the shop, and he's like the old fella in the shop?
So see, Dad worked till he was 70, and he was still cool, and he was still cutting good hair, and I was like, oh, I don't see why that won't be me, So I said, I don't know if I'll still be cool, but I'll be trying my best,
And I think one of the things I love about yourself and Mark is that you guys give me hope that I can have longevity in the industry.
That's a big one, man.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of young kids these days, they only see the start, and they want the start to happen as fast as the finish happens.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's everything in between. Once again, the journey, you got to go through everything and experience life and experience not only the ups and downs in the barbershop, but the ups and downs in your personal life. Because, you know, one day, you know, stuff that happens in your personal life can teach and you can learn from that stuff and bring it into your barbering life. And
100%.
Opposite, you know, same goes with
100%.
barbering. And
vice versa.
Yeah,
And that's the thing, you know, like life throws things at you, and you got to deal, and you got to think, do you know what? I'm actually going to be cool. I'm just going to pop out the other end of this, and then because it's literally, and I often say this, it's a moment in time, you know, and that's you know, and that's okay. So it's kind of like, okay, something crappy might be happening at home or at work or whatever, and you're like, but in a few days or a few months, it's going to be sweet, and we're going to keep rolling, or what? Like, it's literally a moment in time.
And a really good saying that Tom Hanks actually uses: "This too shall pass."
I know, I love that one.
It's such a good one. Hey, I remember the first time I heard him talk about it on the round table, and I was like, I got chills straight up. I was like, Tom Hanks, I just want to kiss you right now. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like,
I love it. I saw that too. Someone told me, and I went and looked it up, and I saw it. And I actually love when you watch it all the way through to the end, because it's, you know, this too shall pass. And obviously, he's talking about, like, because we all have bad days, and we're talking about that. But then it's also when you have the good days, it's like,
good times.
This too shall pass. So just keep your feet on the ground and just stay humble and
level-minded, gratitude, all that stuff, 100%. And
because it does happen like that. Like, you know, even my barbering journey, like, there's been plenty of times, you know, we had when they were building the light rail down the coast. So my brother and I were fortunate enough to buy a building in Southport, and that was early days for us. Like, we literally stuck our necks out to do it. But for a year and a half, we didn't pay ourselves because they were building light rail outside our shop. And you turn up to work every day, and you put a smile on your face, and you literally cut hair all day, knowing that the only money I'm making is to pay the mortgage on this. To you know, And now, like 20-something years later, we still got it. You know, and we survived it, and it's a moment in time. This too shall pass.
And I have a funny reflection. I remember the first time I heard that quote, and I know that Jay probably has a story as well that ties into that quote and that saying. But I remember in my early stages, I was probably a second year, third year, and I wasn't having the greatest time. I'll be straight up, I'll be transparent. And I actually haven't told this story to anybody else other than my family, but I was having a really, really rough time. And I remember I just didn't want to be a barber anymore. I straight up was just like, and I'm talking second year, you know, 15, 16-year-old thinking, well, my life is over. Like, you know, I thought my life was over. And I was just so upset, and I was crying, and I just didn't want to be a barber. And it was because I was so, and Josh has touched on it this past week as well, is because I was so stuck within the four walls of my barbershop that I never realized how big the industry was. And I thought that I was this, you know, big fish in a small pond, but I hadn't even gotten to the sea yet. I hadn't even gotten to the ocean. And I just remember when Tom Hanks said that, and he said, "This too shall pass." And when I got those chills, I was like, fuck, there's been so many times in my life where I thought, I'm going to walk away from barbering. I'm going to walk away. I'm going to walk away. I'm done. And I just always remember back to, like, you know, even now, like, this too shall pass. All those 100%. All those emotions will come through and flow through you, but it's how you tackle that and how you handle yourself through those, those trials and tribulations.
It's so true, Caleb. You're so right, man. And then you look back at it now and think, fuck, I'm so glad I'm a barber. You know,
and even, you know,
so glad.
Not only that, but you look back and you think, fuck, I'm so grateful that I went through that. Because it's like the negative has to happen straight up, because that's part of the journey. And if you're going through life thinking that, you know, you're never going to experience a negative thing or negative aspect in whatever you do in life, you're doing life wrong. It's how you combat that. And how you tackle those obstacles where you truly find that growth. You know,
you do find that really, because you got to look really deep into yourself,
100%.
and you grow from it, and then you are thankful.
100%. And I don't know about you too, though, Jay, with like experiences like that, bro, in your career so far.
Well, like touching on that quote, man, I feel like, you know. And I'll be honest, I didn't see it that same way, bro. Only because, like, I have something that I'm dealing with in my life that hasn't passed, bro. And when I heard that, I was like, like, you know, I could have looked at it as like, that's cool. I don't know why I looked at it as, I'm like, well, I'm hoping this will pass. I'm gonna keep pushing, and that keeps him pushing, bro. You know, thinking about that quote, man. Because just personally, man, like, you know, I'm still working through something, and you know, I'm trusting that process. And
Yeah, absolutely,
you know?
man. And you got to trust that, you know, like people around you love you, and as long as you love you, it will pass. It will pass. Honestly, it will just you will pop out the other end of it, man.
100%, bro. 100%. And I think that obviously moving forward and stuff like that for you, is there much plans that you have? Obviously, we sort of touched on, you know, you wanting to stay in the shop and cutting, but education wise too, like, you know, is there much that you see yourself doing?
Yeah,
you know, because this is me asking a Hall of Famer if there's any much more that you can achieve, because I think you've touched on this a couple of times. I swear there's a lot of people that ask you this question at like showcases and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, Lino, like what's next, like what, you know, you've achieved everything, but like
I don't know, I suppose once again, like my whole journey, I don't really look too far out in advance, because I'm kind of like, you know, I'm loving, you know, I'm loving doing what I'm loving what I'm doing for that, loving what I'm doing for Barbershop, loving what I'm doing for Crew. But there will come a day, you know, that, and whether it's one of the team go, look, bro, it's time for someone else to take your space, or it might be time day might come where I say that thing. But it will be with a lot of love and a big hug. And, you know, I've been the most luckiest guy in the world to have the journey I've had. You know, I totally am cool with that. So, so that day might happen. It might come with the shops as well. I don't know. So I sort of feel like at the moment, like I've still got heaps to give. And even, I don't know, I'm sort of, with my clients, I sort of, you know, I've got to manage that, because I am a really busy guy with lots of stuff, and you know, I've got a lovely wife at home, and I've got a daughter's getting married next year, and you know, like it's amazing. So for me, it's probably the hard part. And you guys, I'm sure, are experiencing it now. Like the more you grow in the industry, you just get busier with everything. And you know, now it's not about us. It's not about you guys, but you guys are going to get busy, because this is amazing.
And that's something that Caleb always likes to say. You know, with new levels comes new devils.
New devils,
that's right. As you grow,
bro. And I love that. I love that you're saying that, G. And I love that me saying it enough is like,
and I think about that all the time now.
And that's the. I think for us, just with NAU and starting NAU, we always knew with new levels comes new devils. And whether it's the camera equipment, you know, failing on us, or the SD cards being a bit of a pain in the bum and all that. But, you know, we get through it, you know, this too shall pass. And I think that it's off the back of the experience that we have as in members of our team, like, you know, with 4 barbers and stuff, and, you know, yourself and Mark and, you know, Lance and all these incredible educators that we have in our educational team. It's really, I don't know, it's done a lot of good, right? Especially now where at the moment, we're currently 4 days in it for people who have been here from the start watching Josh educate. Now we're 2 days into the trainer, and I just feel like even from the feelings in the room from yesterday to today, fucking insane. Like we've as a team, it's not a team anymore; it's a fucking family. And I know that from the beginning, we always wanted to push the family aspect with the dinners and stuff like that. And I feel like I feel so fucking incredibly blessed to be 100%. Able to sit here and, you know, NAU, Jaden and I say it's not about us. And it's the same with what Frey says about 4B, is that 4B, it's not a representation of him. It's not him. It's us. It's us together. It's the community. And that's exactly what NAU is. It's the doing of someone like yourself and everyone else that came before us that laid that path for us to be able to even fucking think of doing something like NAU, and we're so incredibly grateful and blessed, I think. And genuinely, we're so
we actually all are.
Yeah,
so, you know what I mean?
100%.
Because it's not about us. It's literally it's about us giving back to other people.
And not only us or Fraser, you know, I feel like everyone we've spoken to in the whole 4B team knows that it's not about us. You know what I mean?
100%.
Everyone, and that's you know, we've touched on, you know, how everyone's going to grow. Back on to what, you know, how you asked, like, what's your plans for the future, man? I think, like, another way to put it, bro. Obviously, we're learning DFS and whatever. I feel like, you know, obviously you're someone, you know, you've had your career and whatever, and you know, for you, I feel like, you know, you know, you'll be able to play out the rest, you know, of your career, how you're going. How is it going to be putting in DFS like with it, man?
Integrating
that into your style, man.
Well, I have massive love and respect for Josh. He's a new friend, which is great. Like, we got to tour together last year, which was earlier this year. So that was really cool. Look, and to be 100% honest, because I have to be. So, but because like once again, because I'm an American crew all star. I've got a method that I teach with crew, and I believe in it, and we are a crew family, and as part of the team, I've loved watching Josh do. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I love it, and it's a beautiful system, which I think is fantastic.
And even in saying that though, and especially with crew, I was lucky and fortunate enough to see a little bit of an insight in how you guys run your education with crew, obviously with what you do and how you done all the filming. But I think it's so cool how you guys have obviously set structure, and then you can just pick and choose what haircuts you want to do on that day for crew, and then it's so well structured, like it's so fucking well structured. And I think that with the DFS formula coming into 4B now, we're gonna finally have a little bit of that structure, and like to say that we're one of 15 educators in Australia that can actually teach and educate that style of cutting. It's pretty crazy, and I still pinch myself because I'm like, man, we got 2 Hall of Famers in the crew, and then I get to have hey guys, I'm over here. And I'm like, and Caleb, and I'm like, sweet, I get to teach you DFS as well. It's
just watching the growth of how it's gone so far in just such a short time is amazing, and to watch the journey ahead is going to be just a beautiful thing to watch and see it do its thing.
100%. And with Expo next year, are you looking forward to?
Can't wait.
Are you looking forward to Expo?
I can't wait. I think it's just been brilliant. It's like obviously Frey's put it together last year, and once again it's a massive family. It's a big business, but he just did such a good job and absolutely nailed it. And
killed it,
all
man.
of us loved it. Everyone that had booths loved it. It was very, very, very good, and I just feel like it's got massive legs, massive potential. The artists that have come out, that are coming out, like it's literally, I feel like it's absolutely in its infancy, and it's already phenomenal. It's already phenomenal.
Just the tip of the iceberg.
It really is.
And just from back then, how much we're going to progress, and how much more. Like how much tweaks there are going to be for this year's expo. It's crazy. It's going to be exciting.
It's going to be really exciting.
And the industry definitely really needed.
It did
something
need
like that.
it. I agree.
We have the hair fest, and you have and hair fest is absolutely incredible. They're the biggest expo in Australia, I believe. What Fraser was saying, but I think that barbering, the barber community really needed something like Expo for Barbers, and like what Frey said to us the other day, in the name, it's for barbers. What we're trying to build is everything for barbers, and it's so unique because no one has really done that yet. And I feel like I know that we all 3 of us are so grateful for that opportunity to be at its infancy. We're planting the seeds so that the ecosystem can grow. And
it showed too about that connectivity and the collectivity of how we were all together and everyone was happy and hugging and having a great time, and it didn't matter what company you work for or what you did. It was literally it's for barbers. Like this was put together like you are a barber, come and learn or come and share. Like it's both, it's wonderful.
But sorry, G, I'm getting the cue from our boys behind the camera, but we thank you heaps, Lino, for coming on.
Very grateful.
We appreciate you, man. Straight up, like you are honestly, like I said, I keep pushing this seat back every time I'm talking. I seen Jaden give me the eyes before. He's like, brother, you're a little bit too far back there. But no, I just want to say, even behalf on Jaden and myself, thank you so much for the impact you've had on us, man. Seriously, we are so incredibly grateful to be on the journey that we're on with you, and on this journey with 4B, and on this journey as people together. And we have so much love for you, Lino. So much time for you.
Love back at you.
Thank you.
Very proud of you guys, and I'm super impressed in what you're doing. It's just amazing, and super proud of you guys, and just push hard and keep going because
thank you.
It's amazing. So well done. Thank you guys.
And we both look we look forward to getting you back on next year because we do have a booth at Expo next year. So we're gonna be doing some stuff, some pretty cool stuff at Expo. So we look forward to getting you back on. But before this episode wraps up, we'd like to thank once again the Barber Academy for allowing us to use their incredible space for our shooting of the first season of the Not About Us podcast. But Mr. Lino D'Adderio, thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much for your time.
Absolute pleasure, guys. Thank you for your time too. I really appreciate you asking me up. It's cool.
No worries. Thank you.
Thanks, man.